today's question is the following. How can you avoid probate of an estate in Wisconsin? So this is a good question. Many people want to avoid probate for good reason. Probate is the court-administered process that your estate goes through after your death if you have created a will during your lifetime, or if you have created no will at all. You've died what we call intestate, meaning without a will. Then your estate, by definition, must go through the probate court process to get to your heirs. Now, as many people know, the courts are overburdened and busy with criminal and other civil matters. They do not really want to deal with probate court matters, but if you fail to plan, that is the last option, so they will deal with it. So the best way to avoid probate, or as you're asking in this question, how can you avoid probate of an estate in Wisconsin, is to plan ahead. There's several ways you can avoid probate on assets. If they're financial accounts or other assets, you can often use beneficiary designations and name a transfer on death beneficiary upon your death. For personal property, you can use a trust and assign all of your personal property to the trust and avoid probate upon death. Same thing with real estate. You can transfer your real estate during life to a trust and avoid probate upon your death. I sometimes tell clients to think about trust this way. A trust is like a corporation you set up during your lifetime. Most people can think of this, a Walmart or a Target. They go on regardless of who the CEO is and if the CEO dies, right? Because a corporation has a lifetime that exceeds any one person. Well, if you set up a trust, it's like setting up a special set of rules just for your personal assets, and that's trust can outlive you, distribute those assets, and then go away. Now, there's many different types of trust, but the most commonly used one for estate planning is a revocable living trust, and we set this up as a planning tool to avoid probate upon your death. There's other ways to avoid probate on lots of assets, such as jointly titling assets. You can hold them jointly with a spouse or other individual, and things like that. Now, with a spouse, I do recommend this as a way to avoid probate. If you're not married to the person, talk to your attorney in terms of whether it's a good idea to co-own real estate and other assets with someone. So in general, this is a great question, how to avoid probate on an estate in Wisconsin. As a reminder, any estate in excess of $50,000 is going to have to go through a formal probate in Wisconsin if you die. So examine your probate assets, and if you have above that amount, I recommend you talk with an attorney about setting up a plan to avoid probate upon your death. Because in my experience, when clients come into my office, if they have gone through a probate for a friend or loved one, they often tell me I don't ever want to go through that again. Mainly because it involves government in a court process, and usually from 8 to 12 forms you got to fill out just to get it started. And for most people, it feels like a big pain and a lot of paperwork, not to mention the cost, to get the assets to whomever the loved one that died desired. So great question, and thank you for asking.